What is up, my Nova Kingdom? It's Nova King back again, and so I started reading Berserk. So that's a thing, and I'm gonna talk about my impressions and just what I think about this very well-known series. Now before I start, I've never really been into the really gory, graphic kind of super adult themed kind of like material. I guess it's not that I don't like it or that I am too, babyish, I'm too much of a pansy for it. It's not that necessarily, but I don't know, just of all the things that I've watched, it never really was gore and stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot of gore in shows that I watch that aren't necessarily meant to be, horror type, really heavy gore type shows, though. I've never watched anything that's, you're walking into it knowing that you're in for a gore fest, I watched Hellsing Ultimate years and years ago, and that was a really great show. It was the first time I ever kind of dabbled in gore, and that was great. I love that show. It's one of my favorites. It's a super good show. So I'm not against the gore, kind of genre and the horror kind of stuff. It's just not really my first. It's just not my first instinctive thing to kind of get into and partake in. So, but I've heard from everyone, from every anime fan and his mother, that Berserk is amazing. Particularly the manga. Now, I don't read manga that much. I've only read 3 series in my life. I'm still in the process of reading Devilman, the original. Berserk I'm currently reading, and Rurouni Kenshin. But Rurouni Kenshin's like one of my favorite anime of all time. It has like my favorite protagonist in the whole world. You can learn more about my boy Kenshin in the protagonist video I made a while back. And so I just wanted to kind of delve myself back into the Rurouni Kenshin universe again, and just decided to do it to read the manga to see what it was like, just because I wanted to get a clear-cut ending and all that good stuff. But we're not here to talk about Rurouni Kenshin. Maybe I'll talk about Rurouni Kenshin manga some other time. But what I'm trying to get across is I'm an anime guy. I don't read a lot of manga. I really don't. I've always preferred to watch anime. But recently this summer, which summer's over by the way, we just went to school this last week for 2 days, and then I gotta go back Tuesday after Labor Day. But so sad days. Uploads are gonna go back to probably like once a weekend, which sucks. But I gotta put school first and stuff like that. But don't worry, I'm gonna get you guys your content. It's just gonna be a little slower, but we're still gonna have a good time. We're still gonna get through it. So, but during the summer, I was wanting to get into Berserk. I don't know what it was. I just happened to be. I was just watching YouTube videos about it, kind of just figuring out how I should go about it. Just kind of seeing the guide to how to experience Berserk, because I've always known about it. Like, it's just such a well-known series that even a guy like me who's really not into the gore genre and reads and watches a lot of it, even I knew about Berserk to an extent. I mean, I even made my video about weapons and armor in anime, and I made a video about the Dragon Slayer sword and the Berserker armor, because it's just so well known. I hadn't even read Berserk at that point, but I just thought those weapons, his weapon and his armor are just amazing, and they are. But I wanted to get into the series. I've always heard about it. It's just such a well-known series. And so, but I've heard, and I wanted to watch the anime, but you've got the old anime, which doesn't catch up to what's current. You wouldn't be able to keep up with the story if you watch that anime. It ends at a certain point. I don't know when, but and so that's kind of out of the option if I want to keep up with the story, because I never knew that the Berserk manga was going on since the 80s, and that it just has like its creator just has the worst tendencies to procrastinate and just take hiatuses. As a writer myself and someone that does that, I could not imagine doing that to my fans. If I had such a large fan base like he did with his work, I could never foresee myself just leaving everyone hanging like that. It's kind of cruel. Kind of cruel, Kentaro. I'm not gonna lie. Is it Kentaro? Isn't it Kentaro Miura? I don't know, but I know who he is, and I know he's bad about continuing the story. So Berserk is an ongoing series, and I didn't know that until I got into it. And I was pretty surprised that it's still ongoing to this day. So the old anime was out of the option. That was out of the question, and I've heard that the 2016-2017 remake anime things of Berserk, which I was aware of, was synonymous with the words garbage, trash, and just gross. So I didn't want to partake in that either. I wanted to get a good experience with this really well-known series. So I decided that, you know, the best way to experience what the author wants his story to be seen as is to read the manga. And I've seen panels of it, and it looks amazing. I always thought it looked really cool. And I can say now from reading it, Berserk has some of the coolest like art I've ever seen. Like every time Guts is on panel, it looks amazing. Guts is always drawn so well and it just looks so badass. And everyone else does too. Like the art in that manga series is just amazing. It really is incredible, and it's just amazing how much you're able to, I guess, portray, and how much action is able to be shown on just a couple panels. Like it really is amazingly done. And yeah, so I was like, you know what? It looks cool. Let's just read the manga. Let's just go in that way. So I got the first 2 deluxe editions of Berserk, which is basically like, I think it's like 3-in-1. Like it just has a bunch of volumes in one big, nice hardcover book. Super nice. If you like Berserk and you haven't purchased these, I would. They're just super, super nice books just to have. They're super well done. Really nice hardcover. Anyway, but so I got those to start reading it instead of just doing it the old-fashioned way. I got the really nice deluxe books, and 3 and 4 aren't even out yet. They're for pre-order. So I'm currently on the second deluxe book, and I just finished up the Golden Age arc, and you know, I'm still at where Guts is kind of in his past with Griffith and Band of the Hawk and all that stuff, and so, which they take a lot of time on his past, and I guess it's kind of cool, but I almost wish it would kind of hurry up a little bit, because I want to get back to where Guts is at right now, because, you know, yeah, he's chill and he's whatever back in the day, but I want to know why he's so messed up now, and I want to see him get better, because the one thing I could say right off the bat when I started reading it was, man, Guts is a dick. Oh my god, such a bad guy. He's so mean. He has just selfish, crazy, you know, merciless, just a pretty messed up guy when you look at it like that. And of course, when I started reading the Golden Age arc, it gets a lot more understandable as to why Guts is the way he is, because man, went through some stuff, man. I don't know. But yeah, I loved it though. I really did fall in love with it. I just was, when I was reading the first book, the first like arc. I mean, I think it's funny that the manga starts out with Guts in the middle of the woods banging some lady. Like, I don't know, man. I guess when you become a wandering swordsman, you get kind of lonely. So I mean, I don't blame him. But then it turned into a demon and, like, you know, had him, you know, blew her up, and I don't know. It was a weird way to start it out. But you know, I guess you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes to get some punani when you're out in the woods all lonely by yourself. Or maybe I don't know. And I want to know if Guts knew all along that it was a demon, because if so, that's nasty. But it starts out crazy. But I was reading it and I'm like, man, this is good. Like, the art style was good. I liked the dialogue. I liked the just everything. It was just a really well told story, and I was really delving into the universe for it and just really had a good time with it. And I was like, you know what, it's not that bad. Like, I remember scrolling through some of the panels when I first got it to see if it was really as gory and messed up as people says, because, like, I've heard it's worse than Game of Thrones, which I haven't watched Game of Thrones, but still, I've heard all these crazy things, you know, about how bad, like, just gore and it just messes with your mind, the things that they'll do in that book. My voice won't hold in for me, Jesus. So I was like scrolling through when I first got the book. I'm like, that's not too bad. So I started reading it. And it wasn't that bad. You know, it was kind of, you know, whatever. And then, and then I got past the first arc or so, and I saw a little girl get skewered, and I'm like, oh, all right, well, here we go. Now we're getting into the thick of it. And then she came back to life, and then she killed her dad or grandpa or whoever that guy was, and, you know, decapitated him. And I was like, oh, that's pretty bad. You know, that's all right though. I could deal with that. And then Guts just straight up just cleaved that girl in half, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, what happened? I was like, what? I was like, man, this is getting bad. And it only gets worse from there, you know. Then, like, in the Black Swordsman arc, I think it was, with, like, the Count or whatever, you know, they decapitate some girl in the very first, like, panel of it, and, you know, and her brother's there to, like, her little brother just sees her head roll off, and, you know, he's begging, like, please, no, and they're, like, gonna kill him, too, and Guts is just picking up heads, and he's like, oh, this is weird. Like, it's just so... It's not that, but if you really sit there and think about the things that you're actually reading and the things that are actually happening, it really messes with you. If you just go through it, you're fine. But if you actually take a minute to stop and just think to yourself, wow, I just read that. That actually just happened to somebody in this story. It's pretty messed up, you know. I can't remember what his name was. He was the little guy that wanted. He was the little guy that got tortured and stuff by the Count and wanted to get revenge. I can't remember his name though. He wanted to get revenge on the Count and stuff, and he was so nice to, like, Puck and stuff, and when he died, he just got decapitated. Like, I finally thought Guts was getting a little better and had a little bit of sympathy because this guy kind of went through some similar stuff that he went through. You know, I thought he'd finally get a little better as a person. Nope, just let him die. I was like, well, okay, Guts is still a douche. Good to know. But it's still really good. Like, it definitely lived up to that standard of just, oh my god, what did I just read? But it's still really enjoyable. And again, the visuals are really nice. I just really like it. And I really like Guts because, yeah, he is a douche, but it gives him so much room to become such a good person. You know, kind of like, you know, your Vegeta, you know, things like that, where they're such a bad guy that when they become a good guy and they go through that process, it's a much better character developing kind of arc for them, and it's just much more satisfying. So I hope we get something to that effect with Guts, and if we do, he'll become one of my favorite, you know, protagonists in a manga anime ever. Like really, because he's got the badass thing down. God, if my voice would just quit cracking. Jesus. Anyway, he's got that down. Like, during the Count stuff, when he was fighting the Count, I think at one point his fingers were all broken and stuff, so he just, like, picked up his sword, Dragon Slayer, his giant sword, his hulking piece of metal, and just kind of just picked up with his mouth, his teeth, and just, like, ran through that guy. Like, it's just he's super cool to watch. Like, to watch Guts do his thing, it's just really, really awesome and badass to watch. But, so he's got that down, and if he just become a better person, man, just amazing. But, so all that stuff is really cool, and I like the Golden Age stuff. I like going back to see Guts' past, and it's pretty messed up. I mean, God, just everything with Gambino and the big guy that raped him, and just, oh my God. I don't know, like, I just felt so bad for Guts. Like, I made so many bad remarks about him, and then I read all that, and I was like, oh jeez, I'm sorry, man, I went too far. Like, it's just terrible when you read his past and just see how messed up it is. From day one to his birth even his birth is just depressing, because he's just his dead mother hanging above him. It's just you know, it's just like, man, I'm sorry, man. You understand why he is the way he is now. I think it's a really cool contrast, because, like, you see, like, with Puck, when he first was trying to, like, heal Guts in the cell, in the jail cell or whatever, like, Guts would go off. Like, he'd just go, like, full PTSD mode, like, saying, don't touch me, don't touch me. And, like, it makes so much sense now, because he actually was violated by somebody. Like, that actually happened to him as a young kid, and he just feels so vulnerable. The only thing he's ever had in his life that he knew he could trust and could get him out of situations was a sword. He cuddled with a damn sword, for the love of God. Like, it's just, there's so many themes and lessons to be learned in Berserk, and it's just, that's, I think, what I like about it most. It's not just gore and action and just bad thing after bad thing. It genuinely does teach you things along the way, and you see these underlying themes and these lessons that are taught about fate and destiny and you know, just all that kind of stuff, you know. And, you know, belonging, that's a big thing for Guts, you know, belonging, with, like, trying to find somewhere that he's actually wanted. it's there's a lot to learn from it, and it's really cool to see that. It's not just some mindless gore fest. There is meaning and purpose to everything, and I think that's really cool. Now, I'm not saying everything Guts has done has been a good thing, you know. He found the Count's daughter, and she was pretty upset 'cause she literally just watched her dad get, dragged to hell. And then she's like, man, this ain't worth it. I'm gonna kill myself. And Guts like gives her a knife, and he's like, all right, do it. No balls, you won't. I'm like Guts, my boy. What are you doing? Like, it's just like man, he's a bad guy. He's a really bad guy. I remember the last thing you see too, before we go back to like his past, is him like crying or something over what she said about like going after him and killing him one of those days. I didn't quite understand that. I have a couple ideas as to why he was so upset by that, but I won't get into that here. But it's just interesting to see all those kind of things unfold, and I know that something bad happens with Griffith. That's always been something that's kind of been so talked about in the Berserk community. I kind of already know that something bad's gonna go down, really like just off the deep end. Like, I feel like they're gonna just show me stuff that's just disgusting and just want to make me puke, and they're like, all right, well, there you go. That's how Guts got his brand of the sacrifice, and why Griffith is a beefed up, jacked hawk demon god hand guy. And I'm like, okay, cool. But right now he's this really weird dude who looks really feminine and kind of freaks me out. I think he's trying to swoon my boy Guts. Like like one of the first times they actually communicate and talk to each other, Guts he's talking to Guts and saying like how he took a liking to him and stuff like that, and Guts is like, bro, that's you gay or something? Like, it's just, and that's like in the 80s, so it's a different time, so you're not gonna have everyone lose their mind when someone makes a joke and he, or says, just with satire and not meant to be taken seriously. You can't make those kind of jokes anymore in today's society. But I thought it was really funny that Guts made that kind of comment, because Griffith is a little weird, but but we met him, Casca. I've also heard a lot about her. She's there, and she snuggled with my boy to keep him warm. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a dream. I thought he was having like a fever dream or something like that. He was having a wet dream, but it actually happened. She was snuggling with him, but I just finished up that stuff. I think it's like the Wind of Sword or something like that arc. I'm still in his past and stuff like that, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. And I don't know, it's just really good. Like, I still have to finish the second deluxe book. I'm almost halfway through it. I'm kind of taking my time. Well, I finished the first one really quick, but I'm trying to take my time with this one because I gotta wait for the other books to come out because they're on pre-order still. So, but I definitely am loving the series. Again, my only gripe is I know they're trying to establish why everything is the way it is now. I get it. I totally understand that, giving us, I get why they're doing this, but I want to get back to like the present. I want to get back to Guts now, because I want to see his character develop. We're seeing him right now. This is the downhill slope. This is when he's going down to where he's at now. I want to see my boy, get back up to a good place in his life. And I want to see where the story continues. But nonetheless, I still like the background kind of info, the exposition, I should say, of kind of Guts' why he is the way he is now. And it's super good. I really am having a good time with Berserk. It's becoming one of my favorite series pretty quickly, honestly. And I think it definitely lives up to the hype. And again, even for somebody who isn't like a die-hard gore fan, I love it. I still think it's great, because I think there's a lot more to take away from the series than just gore and stuff like that in action. I mean, it does do a good job of storytelling, and it's got a really good protagonist, and that has a lot of room to grow, a lot of cool side characters. Like, I love Puck and stuff like that, and I hope we see more mainstay side characters. I know we probably will, but we gotta get back to current Guts first. But yeah, I started reading Berserk, and here in 2019 I started reading Berserk, and I love it. It's super cool. Deserves the praise it gets. It is one of the best manga series ever, I think. I haven't read many. I've read 3, but that, and I think it's out of the 3, it probably is the best. I mean, Rurouni Kenshin's really good too. Devilman's kind of a gore thing, kind of like Berserk. I know I said I didn't read or watch a lot of gore, but Devilman was another exception because I wanted to read the old Devilman series. But Berserk is definitely one of the best out there, I can say. I don't know, like I just love it. I really do. I mean, one of these days I might watch the anime adaptation, either the old one or the new one, whether if they're good or not. Just to, I know there's movies too actually that kind of retell some of the arcs, and I might get into those when I'm further down the line, just to have more, just to have more content to eat up, because that's kind of the thing you need as a Berserk fan, because we don't know when Kentaro will ever come back from his mountain, up out in the wilderness from his meditation, all that stuff, to coming back and grace us with his presence to write more Berserk. So we gotta always have more content to keep ourselves busy while we wait. So that's why I'm glad I'm starting it out now, because I've got a lot of ground to catch up, and I know I have the time to catch up, because it's hard to say when we'll get more Berserk content. I thought I heard something about a new chapter coming out, or people talking about a new chapter or something like that recently. So maybe I'm just really lucky. Maybe when I decided to get into Berserk, Kentaro's like, dang, that Nova King 17 YouTuber guy, that really awesome YouTuber, he's starting to read my series. I need to get on it. I need to finish it for him. Maybe he's trying to, be a homie to me and get it all finished up so I can have a whole series to partake in. But that's the video. I really like Berserk. Super cool experience. Super messed up. I know it gets worse. I know that what I've probably seen is pretty tame compared to what I'm going to see in the future. But, I've seen some, children, women killed, eaten, rape, more murder, just a lot of bad stuff. Betrayal, I've seen a lot of messed up stuff, but I'm assuming there's only more to come. So I look forward to that. But thank you guys so much for watching the video. I hope you've enjoyed. Leave a comment what you think about Berserk if you want to get into the series. If you're a diehard fan already and you're caught up, don't spoil anything for me. But I'd love to hear from you guys. And yeah, I think I can be considered a Berserk fan now. I actually just got a Berserk shirt for the new school year, so I can show everyone how edgy and hip I am with my manga reading. I went to school the first day with a Kenshin shirt on, so everyone knows I'm a weeb now. So, but don't worry, it's okay. Your boy Nova King 17 is gonna make it through his junior year just fine. So, thank you guys so much for watching the video. And remember to stay positive, enjoy life, because you only get one shot at it. It's Nova King from the Nova Kingdom, and I'm gonna continue to enjoy this series of Berserk, and I'll maybe update you guys if something ridiculous happens that literally makes me puke or just jaw-dropping. But for now, I guess that's it. So, thanks, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. All right.